All right, let's get right into it. So, you've got this great piece of content and you just blast it out across all your social channels, right? Job done? Well, if that's your strategy, you're going to want to stick around. Today, we're totally busting the myth that social media is just one big thing, and we'll show you why that one-size-fits-all idea is basically a recipe for failure.
So let's start with something super simple, a like. That little tap on the screen. It's easy to think, hey, a like is a like is a like, no matter where you are. Facebook, Insta, Twitter, it's just a thumbs up, a little bit of digital praise. Simple, right? Well, maybe not so simple.
And here's where things get really interesting. That one simple action, it has a completely different job depending on the platform's DNA. Think about it. On Facebook, a like is like a rocket booster. It actually pushes your content out to that person's friends, expanding your reach. But on Instagram or Twitter, it's more like a quiet nod of approval. A digital high five directly to the creator. Yeah, it might tickle the algorithm a little, but it doesn't have that same powerful built-in sharing muscle. And that right there, that leads us to probably the single biggest mistake people make in social media strategy: treating all these wildly different platforms like they're all the same. And look, this isn't just a tiny mistake. It's a huge misunderstanding of how this all works. Thinking of social media as one big channel leads to strategies that just don't fit. You end up with wasted effort, missed opportunities, and you're just not getting the results you should be. Okay, so how do we fix this? We have to become detectives. We need to decode the unique DNA of each network. And it turns out every single platform is built on 3 core pillars that make it totally, fundamentally different from all the rest.
So, what are these pillars? First up, you've got the core concept and the user experience, the whole vibe of the place. Second, there are the specific features, the tools they give you to play with. And third, and this is a big one, is the interactivity, the social part of social media that dictates how everyone behaves. Let's break each of these down with some real examples.
Let's start with Twitter. What's its DNA? It's all about speed. It's a fire hose of information, a fast-paced global conversation happening right now in these tiny little bursts. The whole experience is built for you to just scroll, consume quickly, and fire back a reply in seconds. Now let's do a complete 180 and look at Pinterest. This place is the polar opposite of Twitter. It's not about what's happening now. It's about planning for someday. It's a visual discovery engine. It's for inspiration, for collecting ideas for the future. The experience is all about slow, long-term collection, not those fleeting, in-the-moment thoughts. And then we have Instagram. This is a world built entirely on visuals. Images and videos, that's it. The core concept is just beautiful in its simplicity. Make your everyday life look like a work of art. The whole thing is designed for your phone, and it's built to make every single one of us feel like an amazing photographer. Okay, and what about Snapchat? This one thrives on something completely different again: the thrill of disappearance. The whole point is that the content doesn't last. It's here, and then it's gone. And what does that do? It creates this intense urgency, this feeling of intimacy, that classic you had to be there vibe that makes you want to engage right now. So, okay, different DNAs. Why does this matter so much for your strategy? Well, because that DNA completely controls how your content moves, or if it moves at all. Virality isn't an accident. It's not just about creating awesome content. It's about understanding the specific highways and the roadblocks built into each platform. I think we all have this romantic idea in our heads, right? If I just make something great, it'll get noticed. Good content will always perform well. It just has to. Yeah, that's a myth. And honestly, it's a dangerous one. The hard truth is that the structure of the network itself is the rear gatekeeper. It can either be a launchpad for your amazing content, or it can be a brick wall that stops it dead in its tracks. And here's the perfect side-by-side example. Look at Snapchat. Your masterpiece is gone in 24 hours. It creates a flash of intense, urgent engagement. Then you have Pinterest, where a pin you posted can be found and repinned years from now. It has this ridiculously long discovery tail. We're talking 2 completely different universes for how content lives and breathes. All right, so we've talked about the tech, the platform's DNA, but now we need to talk about the people inside the platform. Because here's a secret. Not all users are created equal. If you really want to be effective, you have to know who the key players are in that ecosystem and what they do. First, you've got your lead users. Now, don't confuse them with typical influencers. These people are the true innovators. They're way out on the cutting edge, spotting needs and solving problems months, even years, before the rest of us even realize there's a problem. They are your crystal ball for what's coming next.
Then you have opinion leaders. These folks are the amplifiers. They're the megaphones. They take the new ideas and products, maybe from those lead users, and they interpret them for everybody else. They're the ones who speed things up, drive the trends, and use their network to push something into the mainstream.
Okay, and this is where it gets super strategic. You need to know who to talk to and why. You go to a lead user when you want groundbreaking ideas for your next product. You need their deep expertise. But you go to an opinion leader when you're ready to launch that product and you need to drive sales. You need their network. Understanding this difference, it's an absolute game changer.
So now that we know about platform DNA and the key players, how in the world do you choose where to focus your energy? Well, the question you should be asking isn't which network is the best. The real question is, which network is the most friendly to what I'm trying to achieve?
See, a platform's friendliness is totally relative to your goal. If your mission is rapid-fire customer support, Twitter's your best friend. Its reply function is built for that. Want to create a beautiful visual portfolio for your brand? Instagram was practically invented for that. Trying to connect with other businesses, you go to LinkedIn, where, by the way, content from actual executives often does way better than content from the brand's own page. The platform has to match the purpose, period.
And this all brings us to the final and maybe the most important point of all. It's time to move beyond just chasing vanity metrics and start thinking about our core mission.
I mean, look, there are tons of perfectly good reasons for a brand to be on social media. You might want to increase brand awareness, you might want to drive sales, get feedback on your products, offer customer support, or even find your biggest fans and turn them into advocates. All great goals. The numbers you track, the likes, the shares, the follows, they're just tools to see if you're getting closer to those real objectives.
So, I want to leave you with one big question to think about. Take a hard look at your social media efforts. Are you just posting stuff to chase numbers, to get more likes, more followers? Or are you strategically using the unique DNA of each and every platform to accomplish a real, meaningful mission? Put simply, is your social media strategy serving your metrics, or is it serving your mission?